Dr. Coylette, it's so great to see you today.
I am so thrilled to be in the same room with you. You know how I feel about you.
Coylette, this is all about you. I want our audience to get to know you a little bit. Why don't we start with just introducing yourself?
Okay. I'm Dr. Coylette James. I am the Lioness. Make no mistake about it. I'm also the founder of Lioness Warrior Kingdom. I have a couple of companies, kingdominfluencer.life, where I help women and men, my kingdom influencer, to become the influencer that they were created to be. And I also have Faith Biz Blueprint, where I help people in their business endeavors. So I have been gifted and blessed to walk in a few different lanes due to the experience that I've had in life.
What do you call yourself, Coylette?
I literally just call myself the Lioness because I feel that I embody her spirit. I believe that, you be who you are so you can do what you do.
You have an incredible past, which really gives you the depth and the experience to be a woman with a whole lot of wisdom. Tell us a little bit more about your background.
I come from a background of, if I wanted to take it from the negative side, it would be a background of rejection. I was given up at birth, placed in the orphanage, but as God would have it, I got out of there at 3 months old and was raised by an older couple who instilled very strong bonds of wisdom. Because of them being older, I never was talked to as a child. I was talked to as, just a peer almost. And that helped to strengthen my wisdom. But I had some traumatic things that happened along the way in my life. My father passed away when I was 7 and I was daddy's baby. And that kind of took me on a little spiraling. And at 14, I gave birth to my first child. And then it's 8 days after my 16th birthday, I gave birth to my second child. And then life just went on, and I was a mother, I was a student, I worked. Early 20s, I guess because I had lost my childhood, I went a little crazy and wound up in drugs and just some things that I shouldn't have been involved in. But I evolved from that as well. And at 33, I developed my spiritual life of faith. And I'm very grateful for it.
I think you're an incredible inspiration for so many people, and you've done incredible things. How do you support others in their journey today?
My first thing when I support others is for them to recognize their greatness, their brilliance, because so many people have dimmed their lights, they have silenced their voice. And it's all because of the traumas and different things that they walk through in life. The fact that I had my children so young and there were so many words spoken over me and to me about me being worthless gives me a background and an empathy for people that have dimmed their lights. So my first thing is, let me help you discover who you were created to be, that depth of your greatness and your brilliance.
What happens when we discover a purpose in this world?
First of all, you learn to value yourself. And when you learn to value you, you will never allow anyone to devalue you. It's like when you discover your purpose in life, you discover your joy in life. Life has meaning. You're not just coasting through it. You're actually living it and living it to your fullest.
Why does Lioness resonate so strongly within you?
I believe I embody the lioness spirit, and I believe I've always done that. One of the things that I find so fascinating about the lioness is her majestic ability to be not just protector of her cubs, but they have a sisterhood. The lionesses bond together within the pride. The lionesses go out and hunt, and the lionesses protect each other. They don't let their sister go out there and just be out there and prey for somebody else. We as women have been told a lie. We've been told that we cannot get along with each other. We cannot trust one another. And so we don't have the sisterhood bond that we should. So that when one falls, we pick her up. We cover her. We don't belittle her. We don't shun her, but we make sure that we're covering and protecting her. And that's been my spirit all my life.
What's your role into creating more lionesses in this world?
It's innate. It's just within me that I want to see women empowered. I want to see them rise up to the fullest of their potential. And because I have almost 70 years experience in this female space that I'm in, I know so well how they are devalued. They're devalued a lot of times in the home. They're devalued definitely on the job. They're devalued just in society as a whole. But if I can help them see that, no, sweetheart, you have great value and don't ever let anybody take that from you, then I'm developing more lionesses. Then I'm giving more women the permission that they need just to embrace their uniqueness and who they are.
So many of us lose track in life, lose the sense of who we are.
Yes.
We lose sense of our purpose and direction. What would you want to say to women like that?
Do not become just what people have said about you. Do not become just your experiences. Do not walk in your abuses as though they defined you. Because we have been abused as girls, as babies. We have been abused when we get older, when we're told just be quiet and sit in a corner, or when we go into corporate America and they use you. They use you to build their empire, but they don't give you credit for it. They take all the credit for it. That's abuse. And that causes you to feel like, I don't have a voice. Embrace your uniqueness. We are all different. And so you need to know how valuable you personally are and not ascend to being somebody you're not.
What happens when we find our real given purpose in life?
We begin to glow. We begin to step out in our own power. When we discover our own purpose in life, that is when we learn to love who we are. We learn to love our unique us. You know, especially as women, you've got a magazine that's been put in front of you and you've been told, look like that. You need to be skinny like that. You need to have long hair like that. You need to be pretty like that. But when you discover who you really are, then you embrace your gift. And it is your gift to the world that the world needs because you are someone's answer.
As a woman in general, and specifically as a woman of color, why is it that empowerment is so important to you?
Because first of all, I've been a woman all my life, okay? And I know all too well what women endure. And please hear me, it's every nationality, all races. Women endure different hardships and they endure people dimming their lights. But specifically because I'm a woman and I'm a woman of color, women that are Black and brown, they see discrimination on a whole nother level. They really, really do. And so it's my mission in life to help them understand, sweetheart, it's not about being just as good as somebody else. It's about you being the very, very best you are, because somebody will see the light within you and they'll be attracted to it. And I keep saying this over and over again. You are someone's answer. The world is waiting for you. Now, I understand from myself, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but the people that I'm specifically called to, they're attracted to the uniqueness in me. The people that you are specifically called to, they're attracted to the uniqueness in you. So that's what I want women to walk away with.
As we know, some men are intimidated by women, strong women. And what is it how do you feel about that?
So one of the things that I teach my lionesses is that there are more men for us than there are against us. Again, we've been taught a lie that you can't trust any man and all men are against you. That's not true. And what that has caused us to do is to be in competition with the men. We weren't created to be in competition. We were created to help them be the kings that they're supposed to be. Just because you're a queen and because you walk in the regalness of who you are, that strengthens your king. So understand that there are many men out there that support you. So don't throw them all in the trash. There are those that like you want to just go, yeah, you just go in the corner someplace. But all men are not like that. And so you need to understand it takes a very strong man to be with a strong woman. You can't have just somebody that's just on the sidelines and weak, because a strong man, a real king, he sees your majestic being. He knows that you are the queen that he needs by his side to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish.
That's so powerful. Truly believe that we as women, we've got the power that we need to step into.
We definitely do. I have this thing, and I say this because I'm a woman of deep faith, and I believe in not just a higher power. I believe in the highest power, and not just the universe, but the creator of the universe. And that's my perspective. And I don't try to force it on anybody else. I'm good with whatever your perspective is, but that's mine. And so since that's where I come from, I deal with the fact that according to the Bible, the Bible, that when women were created, they were specifically molded. That rib was taken out and God formed them. And I always say, and he put a little something, something in us because he knew what we were going to need.
Where does your fire come from for life? Because you're incredible. You don't stop. In this season of your life, you've done more than some people have done in their lifetime.
I'm amazed at this season of my life. I'm almost 70. And sometimes I sit up and I go, now? Why now, Lord? But I have that energy. It's like each season has the definement to it for what that season calls for. I believe that you were created in purpose, on purpose. None of us are a mistake. I could have went through life saying, well, I was a oops and, my biological sperm donor didn't want anything to do with me and whatever. And then my mother encountered hardships and she had to give me away. That's not how I choose to see it. I choose to see it that I was the answer for somebody's prayer. My mother that raised me couldn't have children. And she, at 45 years old, took on this 3-month-old baby. My father, at 49 years old, took on this 3-month-old baby. I was the answer to her prayers because she couldn't conceive. So I was born as the answer. I have fire, kind of shut up in my bones, as they say. I have fire within me. It's who I am. It's who I was created to be. And that's why I said, if you be who you be, you will do what you do.
What do you foresee as the future for Lioness Warrior Kingdom?
My vision for Lioness Warrior Kingdom is to move the movement along to the global level that it needs to have. I want to form a sisterhood across the globe of women who understand their value, who will not go quietly in the night and sit in the corner, and at the same time, not go roaring in and tear everything down. There's got to be a balance, all right? You have so much to offer. But if you overshoot the runway, then you're going to turn people off. You need to understand the balance. The boardroom needs your balance. The global world, the countries, they need your balance. They need you to come in and utilize that femininity that you have and that ability to give birth. We have the ability to birth out. And I'm not just talking about children. I'm talking about ideas, global change, all of the different things that this world is crying out for right now. If you give a woman your dream, she will birth out a company. She will birth out the next movement that will change the trajectory of your country. So they need us. And I want to establish that sisterhood, and a sisterhood, seriously, not women in competition with one another, but I want a sisterhood where we can band together and change the world.
What would you say to people who think it's too late for me?
Oh, almost 70, y'all. And God has taken me on this whole new journey at this stage of my life. it's a whole new day. I'm doing so many different transitions right this moment. This is why I'm in Spain, was to come and to get clarity, because God is transitioning me on a global level, literally. And so I'm grateful to speak into young ladies who think they're too young, or somebody has told them they're too young to make a difference, and to our senior ladies who have been told, or think, they may not have been told, but they've got that limited belief system within them that says you're too old, you've missed your chance. One of the things that I start my retreats out with was, you can dream again. The dreams that you had in you, don't throw them away. Dream again. Embrace what is, not just what could be. Embrace what is, because it's within you, so it is.
Coylette, you've authored a number of books, co-authored a book with us. You recently launched your own book about your life. What was that journey of writing your story in a book and sharing it with the world?
You know, it was quite different. Ramunda, it took me years to write my story. And I probably spit out about 4 or 5 books, because I think I had already written 2 before I even started it. And then in the midst of writing it, I spit out 4 or 5 books, did compilations and all of that, right? But actually doing my story, I had to relive it. I had to do a deep dive in it. I had to do some deep soul searching to understand what really happened in those circumstances. Because when you're in the midst of the fire, things don't look the same as they do once you get out of the fire and you can look back in retrospect. So it was healing. I had to heal a lot of the trauma. And I tell people, I'm like, there's a lot in the book, snapshots of my life. It's real snapshots, okay? It's a lot in the book, but it still only skims the surface of the experiences that I have. So I had to heal as I was writing. It literally took me probably 8 years before I actually released the book. So it was a journey.
And I keep encouraging to continue to write and talk about your story, because more people need to know it. When you work with people and you share your wisdom and you share your gifts with them, what truly happens? How do you help them transform their lives?
First and foremost, to recognize the beauty of their superpower in their uniqueness. When they embrace who they were uniquely created to be, that's transformation. That is transformation. You have people all over searching for their purpose. When you be who you be, when you understand who you are, what was the purpose for which you were created? And here's the thing, people don't understand you were created for such a time as this, because you could have been dropped into this world in any given time during eternity, but you're here right now. Why are you here right now? Because you're needed right now. Right now. So once they embrace their own uniqueness, and it's like, it's your uniqueness that people need. You have to be authentic with yourself first. And then you can be authentic with other people. And so transformation is inevitable. It is going to take place when you embrace and recognize your own brilliance. You were created to be light, not darkness. And anytime light walks into a room, darkness dissipates. It can't stay because the light is there. So when you walk into a room, the light is here. The answer is here, but only when you're in your uniqueness. There was a movie many, many years ago. It was called Stepford Wives, and they tried to make these women all cookie cutter women and do the exact same thing and wear the same clothes and whatever, until they started breaking free. I'm like, I want you to break free of whatever mold somebody, and including yourself, because you may have had your own limited beliefs, and that put you in a box. So break out of that and embrace your uniqueness. You were not made to fit in. That is not why you're here. It's not.
I love the seeds of wisdom you sow into people. Why is it important that we work with mentors like yourself who see our greatness?
Because you need somebody to speak into your life. If you don't surround yourself with mentors or coaches or just friends, sisterhood. If you don't involve or surround yourself with people that can see what you don't see in yourself and speak that forth, then you'll go through life doubting yourself. We all need encouragement from time to time. We all need somebody to see us, not the mask, not the persona that we're just putting out there. We need somebody to see us, And more importantly, we need to see us. We don't have to ask for permission to be who we are. We don't have to have validation from somebody else to be who we were created to be. And so often, because we didn't get that validation at home, we didn't get that validation on the job, we have devalued ourselves. You don't need permission. You don't need the value given to you from somebody else when you understand who you are. And you need people around you to see you, the real you, for who you are.
Haven't had a little peek of what your next chapter is going to look like. What are you excited about?
Oh, there's so much. I'm excited about, I have a new character that has been dropped in my spirit, and she's been around me for a couple of years. Her name is Amira. And Amira is being developed into a screenplay. She's being developed into a novel. And we're working on the metaverse environment where it will be a game environment to teach you seeds of life while you go through the game. And it's all centered around this character who grew up in a village, did not know she was the granddaughter of the king, okay, whose mother died in childbirth. And so she grew up in this isolated place, not knowing who she was. And we get to bring all of that to light. And then she discovers, you're heir to the throne, girl. And the journey that takes, the journey of, I don't like you, to her grandfather because you sent my mother away to be alone just because she carried me. I don't like you because you never came to get me. You know what I'm saying? You walk through all of that, and then you get to that place of, but I have to learn to love me. And in the sacrifice of love that she journeys through, she learns who she really is. Because she's always felt abandoned and rejected and not even knew why. It was just something that was in her. But once she discovers her true worth, and she's a warrior, she's a real warrior. Once she discovers her true worth, the kingdom is hers. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to allow these pieces of media to spear on other women to recognize their self-worth.
Incredible. Coylette, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, I am the Lioness. So Lioness Warrior Kingdom is everywhere. I have a group on Facebook, Lioness Warrior Kingdom. I have Lioness Warrior Kingdom on Instagram, on TikTok. But more importantly, the easiest way to find me is Dr. Coylette James. I'm, of course, on all of those mediums as either Elder Coylette or Dr. Coylette, because I am an elder in my church. But, it's like I put both titles up there so people really know who I am so they can find me. And I have a website, CoyletteJames.org. So if you know my name, and it's Coylette, not Col, Coylette, James. If you Google me, I promise you'll find me.
Amazing. Coylette, this has been incredible to have you here, and I wish you all the success with your future projects.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. I'm giddy about even being here. Thank you.